Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a gunpla review of the 1 to 100 scale Master Grade RX-78-2 Gundam version 3.0 GFT. A special release of the iconic mobile suit made to replicate the real, life-sized edition that's on full display at Gundam Front Tokyo. This Master Grade release is comprised of 21 parts. There's 18 main plastic runners, one set of polycaps, a huge marking sheet, and finally, exclusive to this set, a sheet of stickers that replicate the Wall G projector screen for the cockpit hatch. Now, don't be fooled by this Granddaddy Gundam's classic simple design. This is one of the toughest gunpla builds to date. I say this because of one very specific characteristic of the kit. It does not follow the easy mentality of snap together and forget. To elaborate, as you're building the mobile suit, none of the sections will fit together securely and you'll have to manage with that mess until you add on the final part. However, once complete, there is a genuine sense of accomplishment that follows, an appreciation of the engineering behind the kit, and an understanding as to why this Master Grade was given the 3.0 label. Okay, I have to admit, upon completion, I was somewhat underwhelmed by the presentation of the MG 3.0 Gundam. Yes, it has the cool two-toned colored armor and skews towards more realistic proportions, but it's still the same original Gundam design that we're all very familiar with, and the multitude of engineering developments made with this release amount to incremental changes rather than huge gains in presentation. Small touches like the copper stickers in the jointed areas were a nice touch, yet they tend to scratch off quite easily. On the other hand, I can't fault the part separation. It's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, it's a great looking kit for what it is, although it definitely won't be the most striking model on display. Now there's also some changes that this Gundam Front Tokyo edition has to it that you may have already spotted when compared to the standard MG 3.0 release. For starters, the entire kit has been gloss coated and looks even shinier in hand. Second, all the colors carry a warmer hue to them that matches the colors of the life-size statue. Both these qualities are things I personally prefer, however they do come with an interesting side effect. The two-toned armor colors lose their stark contrast. It's especially noticeable on the white plastic. There are two different shades used, yet the difference is barely noticeable. Of course, because this kit has additional finishing touches to it, it's not one I would recommend painting over. At most, panel lining and applying the supplied decals are about all that I think needs to be done. In fact, I would even ditch the former and leave it at that. If there's one thing to take away from the 3.0 Gundam GFT, it's that it makes for a perfectly presentable straight build. For articulation, the neck has double ball sockets that provide incredible range. There's a waist swivel, and then there's two joints in the mid-torso for a decent ab crunch. Shoulders can swing forward as well as directly upwards. Arms are on universal joints. There's a bicep cut, double jointed elbows, ball socket wrists, and the hands have individually jointed fingers and knuckles. All the skirt armor pieces are on ball joints. Hips are on universal joints, there's a thigh swivel, impressive double-jointed knees, double ball socket ankles, adjustable ankle armor, and the foot has two hinged points. Lastly, there's an opening cockpit. Articulation is great, especially with all the neat sliding panels. It feels very solid in hand, too. For accessories, this gunpla includes a beam rifle, the hyper bazooka, a shield, beam saber effects, a core fighter, and an action base adapter. All the weapons are pretty straightforward, as these are the exact same ones used in the MG Gundam 2.0 release. They can all be held just fine. The two firearms have storage options on the rear waist, the shield has an opening visor, and the beam sabers come straight off of the backpack. As for the core fighter, it isn't too interesting. It looks good, though there's not much else to it beyond that. It does have the ability to transform into a core block and then replace the existing one that's inside the mobile suit. It's certainly a neat gimmick, and there's no loss of structural integrity either, though I prefer to have the fighter on display separately. Finally, this model kit can support a single LED in the chest to light up the eyes. Remove the collar and pop it in. Simple and effective. Unfortunately, the kit doesn't include an LED, so you'll have to purchase one separately. Yellow was the preferred option, but I only have red at the moment. I'll be straight with you guys. The original Gundam design is one that I respect more than I like. Actually, a part of me doesn't even like it at all. It's for this reason that, despite hearing great things, I've put off getting the Master Grade Gundam 3.0. In fact, the only reason I have this GFT version is because it seemed like an appropriate souvenir from when I visited the life-size statue at Gundam Front Tokyo. But sitting here after having been through the build, I completely understand why it's so revered. The engineering and thought put into this kit is remarkable, and is even more impressive when you consider how solid the construction is, even with all the moving parts. It's worth it for that alone, with the accessories amounting to a nice bonus. The MG Gundam 3.0 is the model kit that everyone who's into Gunpla should experience. But what about this GFT version? Is it worth it? Well, I'm of two minds here. On one hand, this is the best variant of the 3.0 Gundam for straight built purposes. On the other hand, its exclusive status makes it quite expensive to attain if you're not located in Tokyo, Japan. You could probably purchase the regular edition and gloss coat it yourself for far less. Regardless of your decision, know this: if there's ever been one model kit that could single-handedly represent the entire Gunpla hobby in one well-executed package, the Master Grade Gundam 3.0 is it. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next review.